My name is Ethan Wiest, and I will be asking question 7. And due to the nature of this question, there will be no final word in this round. The City of Green website lists the mayor as the safety director and chief conservator of the peace. We would like each of you to share your understandings and perspectives about one department each. Mr. France, we ask that your 2 minutes in this round be primarily focused on the fire department. And Mr. Neugebauer, your 2 minutes will relate to police presence in the City of Green. In your 2 minutes, please combine some education for listeners on how each department exists in Green, any related issues, and of course, any opinions you may have about it. Mr. France, you will start.
Thank you. Okay, so the Green Fire Department has existed for about 75 years. It was started in 1939 after a hotel burned on the corner of Greensburg and Maslin Road. Local residents got together and decided that they needed to do something to have protection from fire. So they developed a volunteer fire department, totally volunteer, and it was totally firefighting. In the 60s, call volumes started to rise, and the fire department got into emergency medical, or at that time they had a first aid course. There was no paramedics at that point. And so they had a first aid course and started running emergency medical calls. In 1981, full-time paramedics came to Green. There was a campaign throughout the community to put on a levy to bring in full-time paramedics. At that point, fire department was having a hard time getting volunteers through the daytime, and to do coverage to provide the paramedics, we had to go to a full-time fire department. So now you have the fire department involved in EMS. 80% of the calls in the City of Green, and there were 3,000 plus last year, are EMS related. Other than fire and EMS, there are special ops teams. There's a dive team. There's a trench rescue team. There's a high angle team, which if somebody's up on a pole and they have a heart attack and can't get down, you go get them. The fire department runs out of the general fund. There is no fire levy in the City of Green. When we increased the income tax to 2%, it was decided that do away with the levies, so it's run out of the total. We have a staff of 42 full-time fire medics, and there's a budget of $5 million. It's the highest budget in the city.
Thank you. Mr. Neugebauer on police presence.
Thank you, Ethan. As you all know, we have our police service through the Summit County Sheriff. It's been that way in the city since we incorporated. What are the resources that we have? We have 3 deputies on patrol 24/7, and we have 1 sergeant who's also 24/7. So that's 17 deputies and the sergeants to take us around the clock. Oftentimes we have 2 sergeants here, and so if 1 sergeant leaves the area, we do have a sergeant here. On rare occasions, we may not have one here. Part of our contract also includes 1 detective, that's Larry Brown, who works just him as a shift for the city. And we also pay a resource officer at Green Schools, Todd Hart, and he also in the summer works at the parks. And our current contract began this year, and it's a 3-year contract, and it will expire at the end of the year 2017. It's a little less cost to our residents for safety services. It's $2.3 million this year, $2.3 million next year, and $2.4 million in 2017. To address the service, I would have to say that the sheriff provides an excellent service to our community. I think we have an excellent relationship with the sheriff. I like the independence of a police force with the sheriff. You see communities sometimes where they have their own police force, and sometimes it's just a little too familiar, a little too close. So I really like the independence of the sheriff. I also like the extra services that they provide. They did a response here recently. Our community had 17 people here from the sheriff's department, so they provide a lot of resources that benefit our community. Green is important to the sheriff too, because it helps them with provide a service around the community, and so we need to keep that relationship strong for our mutual benefit. Thank you.